ticketing is maybe one of the most utilized forms for NFTs. We will have on the stage Mikey Dragan, the CEO of OVEIT, that is responsible for the very tickets that you hold today in your wallets. We will have a lot of amazing guests, but don't forget to also check out the stage up front, upstairs, the WOGMI stage. We will, okay, we're good? We're cool? Okay. So, let's welcome to the stage Cosmin. At just 23 years old, he embraced a life driven by curiosity, propelling him to the forefront. You're amazing, my friend. You're amazing. Let's give him a huge round of applause. Okay, now we're ready. So I told you about Cosmin. Let's give him a huge round of applause because at just 23 years old, he's on this stage and he's ready to give you some insights on ticketing. Let's give him a huge round of applause. Come on. Woo! Also, we have here the guy who was born in Web 2 and reborn in Web 3, Andrei Pop. Let's give him another huge round of applause.
We've got everyone else coming. Let's go. Jacob.
Now, going on 6 years of experience, he entered Web 3 in his first project at 15. Jacob Haap.
Wait, I think we can start off the...
Think you can start? Okay, yeah. Okay. Now, we have our film actor for Morometsi here. You can see him this autumn. Let's welcome Calin. And we will. Okay. So we can start the panel. These are our guests. Let's give them again a huge round of applause, and let's see what ticketing is about.
Okay, GM everybody, I'm really grateful to be here. Let's give another round of applause for the organizer. Woo-hoo! Okay, I'm Calin, I'm a theater and film actor. And I'm here because Andy is my friend. And because I think this is my way to try to bring my contribution to this space. Okay, we're gonna talk today about NFT ticketing, and most important, why do we need, or if we need NFT ticketing. So I would like to start by asking you to introduce yourself.
Go ahead, Jacob.
Okay, so my name is Jacob Haap. I run an early stage company out of Berlin, Germany, focused on developing a tokenized solution for software licensing. I myself, I'm a software architect specializing in Web3. I also make different Web3 developer tools.
Thank you, Jacob. I'm Cosmin. I work in business development for the leading on-chain ticketing company based in Amsterdam. We're called Open Ticketing Protocol. Over 6 million tickets issued on-chain, 20,000 events facilitated. Work with Formula One, Lewis Capaldi, Gucci Mane, and other big names. And we're here to build fair ticketing for all, really, and just fight monopolies, in a nutshell.
Hello, everybody. My name is Andrei Pop, or Andrew GMI. I'm head of partnership at BlueShip, and also NFT Dragan, so here to represent NFT Zone.
Hello, my name is Mihai Dragan, and I go by Mike Dragan. I'm one of the co-founders of OVEIT, the registration system you've used to access NFT Bucharest and some other Web3 events such as Paris Blockchain Summit, the European Blockchain Convention, and so on and so forth. We started about 7 years ago with the idea of making access to events better, and we discovered the NFT ticketing as a way to solve fraud in event registration and ticketing.
Okay, so I would like to start by asking you, Jacob, to tell us how does it work and how NFT ticketing is actually implemented from a tech side.
Okay, so there's a few different ways that could go about it because it's a relatively open thing. We talk about NFT ticketing, it's basing itself on a non-fungible token. And what a lot of people don't seem to understand is you could put almost anything into an NFT. So when we talk about what is an NFT ticket, what is the form that goes into that, it could take almost any form. If someone wanted to, they could do an NFT where it is just a QR code put in there that goes and still links back to their centralized database. They could even go ahead and set up a smart contract with mappings as to who has purchased what ticket for which events and stuff like that. So as far as what an NFT ticket is, it's a very open thing. But I guess a way to sort of put it in a nutshell is it's a way to reimagine ticketing systems that gives more power back to you, the holders of the tickets, as well as gives more ability to sort of track and transform the experience of the people attending your events or interacting with whatever it is that they've been ticketed for.
Okay. We can start also with what is the difference between proof of attendance and NFT ticketing. We can talk also about that. I mean, what's the difference here?
Yeah, I wanna take a step back and just talk about how much a ticket means usually for event attendees, for everyone who's a super fan, who just really begins a lifelong journey of supporting an artist, an event, an act, whatever. In that whole journey, there are a lot of bad actors. In my mind, one of those bad actors are the ticketing companies who are trying to get as much profit out of the stakeholders that provide a lot of value with high fees, with fraud, with keeping some of the inventory from primary sales directly for secondary sales to maximize profit. This is something that Ticketmaster notoriously does. So they act like these middlemen that suck value out of the ecosystem without giving much back, just facilitating a service of ticketing, right? So at this point, when we're talking about on-chain ticketing or on-chain access, is really about mitigating those issues. Mike talked about, fraud. This is one part of it. There's another part of it, which is financing, being able to get access to new ways of advances for events, so that you don't go to these ticketing companies that give unfair deals. And then there's the other angle, which you are talking about, which is proof of attendance, or just the fact that this social proof that you have been part of it, you have been supporting the efforts, the journey of these artists and events for a long while. I think the difference between proof of attendance, anything, and ticketing is the fact that proof of attendance can be for anything. We talked earlier about Sound XYZ and how they actually implemented that into discovering new songs, new records, so you can actually tell your friends that you have been one of the first to discover Lady Gaga or who knows. But with ticketing is specifically, giving access to an experience. So it's not only the social proof, it's really the entry point to all of the other things, to merchandise, to new added-on experiences, to future events, to communities, which you can, I guess, tap into. So it's really an on-ramp into an ecosystem of everything that we're building here. Maybe the biggest on-ramp there is to get new users excited about the products that are being developed for fan communities, for artists and events. I don't know if you want to add on top of this. I can share the mic.
Yeah, I have one. But yeah, I think one of the other things that NFT ticketing is solving is the secondary market. The fraud is a symptom of something that is available in the event market. The secondary market. I'm buying a ticket and I want to resell it because I cannot go to the event, or I just want to make some money off of it. The secondary market is not necessarily a bad thing, but in the way that is operating right now, it's not working. We had a customer that mentioned someone purchased a ticket, they resold it 120 times on secondary markets like Facebook and Viagogo and so on and so forth. So 120 people show up at that festival and all of them were scammed. None of them could get in. So this is the kind of the size of the problem. And as all of us in the NFT ticketing system have discovered, the only technical way we can solve this kind of issues and build upon them is to use this NFT technology. NFT is not a picture, it's a protocol that we can use to provide safe tickets that solve the issue. However, the big issue that all of us are facing at the moment is the incumbent players, obviously Ticketmaster, and the hold they have on the industry at the moment. So how do you guys go about solving that issue?
Actually, I think I don't know how much people know about the hold they actually have on the industry. So Ticketmaster is owned or owns, no, Live Nation owns Ticketmaster. Live Nation is the biggest promoter in the world, which means that they own a lot of venues. The promoters are the ones who are organizing events, right, throughout the world, which means that if you the way they actually keep their monopoly is by giving loans to event organizers who need that money and cannot get it elsewhere because nobody would give them money for an event. They have somewhere in between $4 to $10 billion to give away for events, even if they don't make a profit, just to make, just to keep their monopoly. And while they do that, they make sure that the event organizer uses their ticketing system. They have a 5-10 year deal where they get like 10 to 20% of the revenue, which is a high percentage. They have to use their own venues because they own the whole cycle, everything that surrounds ticketing. So they basically force those event organizers, because they have no other choice, to go with their solution and use everything they have in their value chain. So that's why they keep existing, and they will keep existing until there's disruption happening, which hopefully NFT ticketing will bring on board. So that's why like a lot of these things happen in the background. You don't know it. We know it. Maybe we wouldn't even want to know it, but we do because we want to change it. But a lot of these things are very, very much hidden, and I think it's it's interesting to share, because most people in this room might not know that this is how things actually work out nowadays. Yeah, just wanted to add that. But I do think that the biggest unlock for ticketing specifically is financing. What we've done is we are using the NFT tickets as collateral in lending pools. So anyone can crowdfund, can finance new events by contributing, like in any DeFi pool, a certain amount. And the tickets, the inventory of that event, are used as collateral, which means that once the cash flow comes in, when you start selling your tickets, a certain percentage gets back to the pool as yield, and you can, earn something out of that, like 8 to 12%. And once you have that unlock, and you can provide event organizers with the advance they need before the event, that's when they will start moving away from current solutions and become more free to make their own choices.
Let's talk a bit about other novel use cases of the NFT ticketing. We were talking backstage about you like the idea of travel NFT ticketing. Can you talk about this, please?
Well, yeah, so sort of going back to that, when people talk about NFT ticketing, it's overwhelmingly looking at it from an event standpoint, talking about like conferences like this one. A lot of Web3 conferences, when you go and buy a ticket for that, you're often issued an NFT ticket. If you go to another Web3 or NFT conference in the future, you could show that you have ownership of that ticket and possibly get free entry or a discount. So we're looking at it through a lens of conferences, and then, as was already mentioned, stuff like the music industry with concerts. You have a similar idea of you can provide that ticket as proof of whatever you have done and potentially be rewarded for that, like it's a loyalty program. And on the topic of loyalty programs and the idea of other use cases, one way this could be applied is in travel. With airlines specifically, we already see airlines are willing to try and experiment around with Web3 technologies. With Lufthansa, for example, they have an app called UpTrip. Every time you take a flight with Lufthansa, after you're done, you could go ahead and scan your boarding pass, and you can collect a digital trading card with that. So we have the fact that they are already integrating something related to your travel experience into Web3 and a willingness to use the technology. So ticketing itself, that could be a Web3-based thing as well. Ignoring the whole part of the monopolies that are in the actual aviation ticketing system itself, and I'm not a professional in aviation, so I don't take what I say for straight fact. But imagine like you go ahead, you want to buy a ticket, say you're buying a ticket from Berlin to Paris, and at a later date you have to change to a different travel date, you have to switch to a different destination, and you can't get rid of this ticket because the terms of the ticket say that you can't do that. If you had an NFT-based ticket, say it's not personalized, so it's just a ticket for those city pairs on that date, maybe with a seat attached to it, you could go ahead and trade that ticket on any open marketplace with someone else, because the benefit of having tickets on a decentralized public ledger is the ability to have these types of third-party interactions with it.
Okay. So if I can ask some of the people here, who here has flown in from out of town? Can you raise your hand, please? All right, so just one. But if there were more of you, you have probably purchased your tickets, you've purchased a hotel booking and a flight, and you probably are going to spend some time in the city by going into restaurants and bars and so on and so forth. So your visit here is not about this event. Your visit here is about your visit here. And this is happening all across the world. When you're flying into another country or another city to see a concert or a conference, you are booking your flight, you are booking your hotel, you're having fun around the city. So usually one of the aspects that is often unseen when we're talking about tickets is that event travel is 10% of global travel. In the past, we developed a thing called add-ons on top of our tickets, things that you can stack on top of the ticket. So together with the entrance to NFT Bucharest, you could also pack your hotel booking, your flight, and so on and so forth. Obviously, there are some issues here, because all of these benefits have to be interconnected with third-party systems, like the hotel, the flight, and so on and so forth. So I think one of the key use cases for this kind of technology, NFT tickets, is probably going to be happening outside of the event and into the ecosystem that is creating the event itself. So event plus travel plus booking plus accommodations plus fun can be an NFT ticket.
If I could add on to that, because you mentioned the idea of being able to stack things on top of your existing booking. We already mentioned the idea of what it means to have a ticket on a public platform like this. It can mean that anyone could build onto this, anyone could see that you have this ticket as a verifiable asset. So let's say that someone who is not affiliated with this conference wanted to do something to target NFT Bucharest attendees. They could look at people who have a ticket for the event or have flown in from out of town and say that they operate a hotel and they want to offer a discount to that. Without NFT ticketing, you would have to have some way to verify the legitimacy of the conference tickets. You have to have some way to discover that. But having everything open like this enables new third parties, possibly without even the approval of the event itself, whatever you think about that, to come in and offer new things around it. So I really like that you mentioned that idea with it, is just the idea of you go to a destination for a specific purpose, and there's more things that could come around it that you can stack on top of it, but when you put that on chain, it gives the ability for anyone to come in and contribute to that.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's just a point of access, right? It's not about tickets, it's about just access. In whatever shape or form, whatever action gives you the access or the proof of action, that doesn't matter. It's just it's just the entry point to a number of other experiences, which could be with traveling, it could be other events, could be bookings, could be restaurants with going to an event. It could be merchandise, it could be super fan shows, it could be meet and greets, it could be anything, right? So it's just that entry point. That's all it is, just access.
Or it can be what we tried at Teatrul Excelsior, which is the theater where I work in Bucharest. I don't know who knows, but Teatrul Excelsior in Bucharest is the first theater who launched an NFT collection during the X-Fest, which is an international theater festival. So we made the first step. Hopefully it will be a next step. Maybe Teatrul Excelsior will continue, or maybe another theater will continue this project. I would like to talk, Andrei, a bit about the NFT ticketing Web2 versus Web3 from a community point of view.
Yeah. So, if you think about the NFT ticketing are the entry point for Web2 people discovering the NFT zone. So basically, you just enter on a platform or a dApp, you mint a ticket, and you basically get an NFT. So this is your first step as a Web2 person entering the Web3. Now let's talk about the community. How can you build around the community, because most of the attendees that are coming to these events are from the community, from the Web3 community, and they want something more than just a virtual ticket show up in a wallet. They want benefits, they want experience, they want future benefits. So this is way you can leverage your NFT ticketing to your community to build a better community and a bigger community. This is part of the community, but we also have the part of business. As a project, as an event, you want projects around your event. You want to have big projects, you have to have good projects. So the best way to do it is by creating these NFT tickets and provide them to this company in order to discover your event. Without no string attached, you just send the NFT ticket to them and they can see the benefit of them. When you talk to NFT ticket, I'm not referring just as a picture. It can be merch, it can be different things that they can offer you to enter. For example, a project that I'm working right now, they have t-shirts, hoodies, act as a ticket to enter on an event. So you just wear the ticket and enter on the event. You don't have to scan it, you don't have to show it to somebody. So basically the third party doesn't exist here, so you have a flawless entry to the event. Like, for example, we had I went to NFT Paris like two years ago, and the crowd just to enter on the event was like 4 kilometers, because you have to take the ticket from the phone, show it to somebody, then approve it, and after that give you a bracelet, and then you enter. So there are too many steps when it can be more easy wearing something and just go to the event. You don't have to do anything else.
Okay, so let's talk now about what it sucks. I mean, what is not working here when you're trying to build an NFT solution, NFT ticketing solution?
I think like in most Web3 products, everyone focuses on the on-chain features and thinks that's enough, or that on-chain feature should be a replacement for everything that came before, which is not the case. I think it's mostly 90% off-chain and 10% on-chain, and that 10% is life-changing maybe, or industry-changing, or disruptive. But specifically when we talk to ticketing, so my company's been around for 8 years, and we've outlived most so-called competitors, like Web3 on-chain ticketing competitors, although we're not tribalists, so we can coexist. But mainly because we took a Web 2.5 approach. We understood that event organizers in practice need much more than the on-chain features. They need dynamic seating, they need delegating tickets, they need issuing invoices, right? So all of these things happen in the back, in the dashboard, and they are needed for an event organizer to practically do their job, which is organize the event and manage the event, right? Whilst most of the time you see a lot of the on-chain features, which are a very good addition, augmentation, but they're not a replacement. So for me, it's what's not working generally is that we are trying to, first of all, tailor a community of very native on-chain people that have very different needs than the actual users in that industry, which in this case is, ticketing or events, in my opinion, right? We can talk about tourism and some else. And then, in order to facilitate that, you need to make sure that you develop a bunch of other things on top of the on-chain capabilities. So that's the biggest difficulty we've seen. And now, we're moving towards the Web3 ethos again, now that we've gathered so much experience in the past years, but that has been what got us to a point where event organizers are like, all right, okay, I'm willing to try more. I'm willing to understand what the next step is. And that actually meant having an actual normal ticketing experience that's pleasant, and then adding the on-chain benefits to it.
Yeah, I totally agree. The first thing that is missing it's not just NFT ticketing, it's all Web3 solutions, is a much higher focus on the customer experience, right? So, or the user experience. Right now, a lot of the solutions are very complicated, and they don't solve the actual core issues for the event organizer or for the visitor. The second thing that I think is missing is a marketplace. The big opportunity in NFT ticketing is the secondary market that is invisible right now, but it's huge. The fraud in the US alone is $15 billion in terms of ticketing, right? And this is not caused because people want to be evil, but because they want to go to that Beyonce concert or that Taylor Swift concert or that NBA show or anything else, right? So that causes a secondary market that has to be fulfilled. Right now, when we're thinking about NFT marketplaces, we just think of pretty pictures. None of them are focused on a specific use case. Right now,
Too broad.
NFT ticketing needs a third-party marketplace that solves this issue. And I'm guessing it can be one of our companies, or it can be a third party. I can say that OpenSea is not interested in this. We tried, we asked, they're not interested. And probably the third thing that was missing prior to 2020 was a Black Swan event that would disrupt the event industry. And that Black Swan event was obviously the pandemic. The hold that the likes of Ticketmaster had on the industry, those long leases over years, suddenly stopped in 2020. Their hold on the industry is as weak as it has ever been in the past, I think, in 40 years. So now is the time for change.
And I just want to share a little bit the story, like how Ticketmaster became Ticketmaster. So there was Ticketron, and they had this huge monopoly on ticketing by having physical shops. And then Ticketmaster came around. They were like, okay, you know what? What if we build online tickets? If we sell tickets online? What if we have real-time inventory management and dynamic pricing? And that's really it. The Ticketron didn't want to follow, and they just focused on their physical shops. And Ticketmaster at that time was super innovative in the 80s, and made the changes necessary in order to get the market. And I think we're finding ourselves in a spot where we see the history happening, but Ticketmaster looks to be at the other edge of the spectrum, right? Being replaced. So yeah, history repeats itself, but we always think like it doesn't.
It's also funny that they tried the solution and they marginalized it within the company. They tried NFT ticketing, and they did it like an afterthought, and then they buried it.
Because their whole thing is control. So if they lose control with NFT tickets over their revenue, really, so it doesn't make sense to their business model, which is unfair. So they won't implement it. Yeah.
Yeah, the cool thing about NFT ticketing is that it's open. This year's events ticket can be used for next year by another company and so on and so forth. And ultimately, it's the user that wins. It's the event organizer, it's the consumer. The NFT itself is open, which is not compatible with old school companies.
I would like to ask each one of you to, I don't know, maybe to give an advice to someone who is trying to implement NFT ticketing solution into his own business. A small advice. Each one of you from his area of expertise, of course.
So this might be a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but I would say there's not necessarily a need to tokenize a lot of things. 90% or more of things that could be tokenized don't need to be tokenized, because a lot of the time it's just people trying to say that they're using Web3 for the sake of using Web3. Don't do that. I mean, we're talking about the benefits of NFT tickets. We've also been talking about these big players out there. One of the problems is, how do we actually get NFT tickets to gain popularity? Ticketmaster, they're showing a pattern in behavior that they're not going to adopt this technology. And consumers are going to go with what is the biggest player in the market. So while NFT tickets get introduced new features to them, it's not going to do much if it doesn't actually get into the hands of them. So what I would give as a point of recommendation is find a way to integrate the technology in a way that makes sense, a way that it should actually be tokenized as filling an actual purpose, in a way that isn't directly going against what the existing players in the game are doing. Because if you go against them, you're going to be upsetting everyone. If you find a way to work with them, that's the way that you could find growth. Might be unpopular with the other panelists, but that's at least my opinion on it.
Oh, I agree. Like, to put it in a few words, it's the use case, not the technology. And it's, going niche when we're talking about NFTs. It's ticketing. It's those consumers. It's that use case. It's not about something broad, just as the technology is, right? I think just we should name it based on the use case, and we should reframe our thinking in building products around the use case and not the technology. Not because we can, but because it makes sense, right? Just that easy.
So NFTs tickets for companies that are in the beginning are very, very good because they give them a possibility to raise funds very easy in order to build the event. They can manage to rise the community, and also they can build on that NFT ticket. Maybe it's a simple ticket, maybe it's an art ticket, and use it at the full capacity of it.
Whenever we have a new customer asking about NFT ticketing, the first thing we're asking is, what's the problem you're trying to solve? Do you have fraud? Do you want to tap into the secondary market? Do you want to make your customers, your visitors, more loyal? Do you want to sell extra stuff with your ticket? What do you want to achieve? And if they don't have an answer to the question, what is the problem that you're trying to solve, then we advise them, you better find some other thing to do. Because if you just go for the marketing and the hype and the whole BS around, hey, it's cool, I'm gonna just do some NFTs and I'm gonna get rich, it's probably not gonna happen, right? That ship has sailed, right? About 2 years ago. But there are some real problems that can be solved right now with NFT ticketing. And if you want to tap into those problems, you can solve them using the technology. But if you don't have a problem, don't use this technology. Yeah.
And look, sometimes solving real problems is actually more boring than speculation. So sometimes it might feel, oh my God, this is so boring. But at the end of the day, we need to build something that's useful. So we cannot only focus on rainbows and sunshines and butterflies and trying to get a quick buck.
Because we have 5 more minutes, I would like to take some questions from the audience. Anyone?
It means we were so clear. That's
just,
great.
Just
Good
raise
job,
your
guys.
hands.
We did our job right.
So if there are no questions, one thing I'd like to propose is asking everyone on the panel, what do you personally see as the value in NFT tickets? How would you see yourself using it? Aside from what we're talking about in terms of the actual use cases of it and how we ourselves are deploying the technology, how do you think you could use it in your personal life?
For me, it starts with being sure that whatever I purchase is only mine. So I want to have that security. I haven't had, thankfully, the bad experience of buying a fake ticket, but I wouldn't want to have it. I think that would suck so bad. So I wouldn't want to have that. So that's just this is the boring stuff. But I do think it can build and bring back the collectability of tickets in the old days, right? Remember, some of you collect bracelets, some of you collect actual paper tickets. So that's what makes me excited. Being able to collect in the digital era and not focus only on the quantity and the number and the Spotify streams, but actually on supporting artists and having memories to keep forever and show proof of it. I think that's what makes me excited. So that's what I would generally use it for. For me, it's finding the best way to create digital memories that are authenticated and that we can hold forever.
I'm going with the same answer. It's for collectible. It's just a proof of history on the events you attend, you went to, you speak to, or maybe you just participated. So collectible, it's a good way to do it.
Well, obviously, I don't want to get scammed, so that's number one.
We agree on it. Yeah.
And number two is whenever I'm traveling to another country or another city, maybe one I have never been before, one that I don't know, and I'm going to a conference. That's an amazing way of obviously finding new friends and engaging with the conference and so on and so forth. But I also want to add my hotel to my ticket because I'm a visitor for that event. Maybe I get a special deal. And I want to have some curated experiences that are, again, on my NFT ticket that for example, I'm going to Paris Blockchain Summit, I want to get like a special pass to the Louvre so I can take a selfie with the Mona Lisa or something because I paid that extra buck for the Paris Blockchain Summit. So I want to have this
Social
wallet,
proof.
like, not necessarily social proof, because I wanted it to be private, right?
Oh, okay.
But I want everything on my ticket and with some special kind of deals and prices because I'm part of that tribe over there.
It all starts with a ticket.
Yeah, I would buy a theater NFT ticket if if the NFT would be a nice piece of art. I mean, a collectible that I would like to own in my wallet, and also maybe if it gives me some discount, or maybe it's a pass to 5 performances of maybe what I was thinking. Maybe all the owners of the NFTs can have, I don't know, a conference about blockchain or something. I mean, another use case that can offer more than, in this case, a theater to offer more than theater performances.
I guess that was us. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.